Welcome to Epictales Universe, a place where ancient stories awaken and forgotten truths rise from the pages of time. If you believe that legends carry wisdom and that echoes from the past can shape our future, you're in the right place. Subscribe, like, and join us on this journey into the hidden corners of history and belief. There is a story, soft as a lullaby, but stronger than stone. A story told by those who speak of Jesus and by those who speak of Muhammad. A story whispered by early Christians in Roman catacombs. A story honored in the Quran, where it is said, "We tell you their story in truth." A story passed from Byzantium to Damascus, from Ephesus to the far reaches of the empire. It is the story of the 7 sleepers of the cave. And it begins with fear. Long ago, in a time when belief could cost you your life, there lived a group of young men. They were noble, educated, sons of the city's elite, but they carried something dangerous in their hearts. They believed in one God, not in the gods of the empire, not in the idols and temples of the day, but in a truth they felt within of a divine presence beyond all names and statues. The emperor at the time, whether you name him Decius or Trajan or another, depending on which version you hear, ruled with suspicion and iron. Those who refused to sacrifice to the Roman gods were seen as traitors. So these young men fled. Some say there were 7. Others say 8 if you count the faithful dog who followed them. Their names are lost to time, but in the Christian tradition, they are often remembered as Maximilian, Malchus, Martinian, John, Dionysius, Serapion, and Constantine. They escaped into the wild, seeking refuge in a cave in the mountains outside the city, perhaps near Ephesus, in modern-day Turkey. And there they prayed, not for deliverance, but for courage, for peace, for truth to be protected even if their own lives were not. Exhausted, they fell asleep, and the world moved on. Years passed, then decades, then centuries. One empire fell, another rose. Persecution turned to tolerance. A shepherd stumbled upon the cave, looking for shelter, or perhaps just following his flock. And inside he found the sleepers, still resting, still breathing. And then they began to wake. To them, only a single night had passed. Their clothes were intact, their memories sharp, their hearts unchanged. They emerged from the cave and walked into a world they did not recognize. Shops had different names. The people spoke in strange tones. And when one of them offered a coin to a baker, the baker examined it as if it were a relic. Because it was. The emperor on the coin had been dead for over 200 years. The baker called the authorities. Word spread, and the town realized these were not fugitives. They were miracles, proof to some of the power of faith. To others, a sign of resurrection. To still others, a sign that time, memory, and the divine weave together in ways we cannot understand. In the Islamic tradition, the story is told with reverence. In Surah al-Kahf, the 18th chapter of the Quran, they are called Ashab al-Kahf, the companions of the cave. The Quran says, "Do you think that the companions of the cave and the inscription were among our wondrous signs?" It tells of their belief, their retreat to the cave, and how God protected them by turning them over while they slept, so their bodies would not decay. Their dog is honored, laying at the cave's mouth, guarding them while they dreamed. And when they awoke, they were amazed at the passing of time. To Muslims, the story is not just historical. It's a spiritual lesson about trust, about the illusion of time, and about how God preserves those who believe. But this story stretches even further. There are multiple caves claimed as the site of the miracle. In Ephesus, there is a cave with ancient inscriptions and tombs, visited by pilgrims for centuries. In Jordan, a cave near Amman bears an inscription and several graves, matching the Quranic account. In Syria, tales speak of the cave being near Damascus. Even in Western Europe, the tale took root, where local legends arose of sleepers buried in hills, waiting for a time when they would rise again. Some say the story inspired the myth of King Arthur, resting in Avalon. Others connect it to apocalyptic prophecy, of chosen ones sleeping until the final day, when they will awaken and bear witness. And perhaps, that is the power of the tale. It is not owned by one religion, not by one region, not by one century. It is a universal myth about how the soul endures, about how the world changes, and yet the spirit remains, about hope, preserved in silence, waiting to rise. And what of the ending? Some say the sleepers died soon after their discovery, having fulfilled their purpose. Others say they disappeared, taken into divine realms. Some stories say they were entombed in the cave itself, honored, guarded, remembered. And their dog? He is said to rest with them still. But even today, some whisper that the cave remains open, hidden, protected, that others sleep there still, chosen by forces beyond our understanding, waiting for the world to be ready, to see, to believe, to awaken, because the greatest stories don't end. They echo, and sometimes what seems like a fairy tale is just a memory we haven't caught up to yet. Thank you for joining us on this quiet, powerful journey into the story of the 7 sleepers. If it stirred something ancient in your heart, please subscribe, like this video, and share Epic Tales Universe with others who still believe in the magic of time, faith, and mystery. Until next time, may your dreams be gentle and your soul awake.